So we finally have a trade deal between the United States and Japan, but it does not necessarily mean that they're completely off the hook. Many things yet to solve, many instabilities as well, especially in geopolitics. And so let's dive right into it. So first off, we have the announcement from the White House. So massive deal with Japan, and of course a Truth Social coming from Trump as a huge victory, the best deal ever, the first of many deals to come because the clock's ticking. So it's all about August 1st. So basically, and it was also celebrated by Scott Bessent, also posted about it. So basically, it's all about investments in the United States, job creation. So it's a $550 billion investment where the US is able to keep 90% of the profits. And the tariff, which was supposed to be 25% as a punitive tariff, just became dialed back to 15% reciprocal. And that means so jobs to the U.S. and also exports, not only machinery and also planes like Boeing orders that are going on, but also agriculture and rice. So which is pretty interesting for Japan, since mainly the concerns in Japan or the higher inflation. Food inflation is very concerning, and it creates a lot of problems internally. And this was also shared on the other side, where Shigeru Ishiba actually said, look, with the idea of prioritizing investment over tariffs, Japan and the US have reached a deal that benefits both sides. Automobile tariffs and reciprocal tariffs will be 15%. So as we recall from other videos, Japan was on the automobile side, they were trying to absorb a lot of the tariffs on prices because the US economy is still sluggish, even though Americans love Japanese cars, the consumption would be absolutely crushed if that continued. So they were adapting to it, but also hurting the Japanese economy. So a whole mess over there. But as you can see, as well said by Weston Nakamura after the whole announcement from Shigeru Ishiba, he said, look, that's what he said, right? You can read it from here. So he's not popular at all in Japan, and that creates a lot of problems, right? Maybe the timing is a way for them to call a victory. So I'm not a geopolitics guy. It's up to you. Maybe watch us from Japan. I would love to hear your comments as well about that. And this comes in a very timely manner because we just had in Japan the upper house elections, and Shigeru Ishiba just lost the majority. There's a whole turmoil going on the right taking over. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And many people just thought he's just going to resign, and that rumor had spread like wildfire. And just hours ago, he just denies the whole thing, and he's never actually said anything about it. So even though we had this deal, we also discussed on our latest report how Japan is not off the hook at all, because Japan is definitely embracing a dramatic increase in public spending. So this is a theme, and it also relates to their bonds, the JGBs, especially the 30-year yield. They have surged, right? So it's a huge problem over there, and as we said, the whole problem here is about liquidity. Liquidity is key. So if we see. And again, this is coming from our Bitcoin intelligence report, because macro is extremely important. And of course, we talk a lot about Bitcoin itself and all of our charts, on-chain analysis, and of course, as well, everything that is happening with stable coins, the whole system, Eurodollar system, how that drives liquidity and Bitcoin prices, so you know exactly how to act on it. So if you're interested in that, links are on the description below as well. So if we go to the 30-year yield, you can see, like, since the pandemic, it's just going up. And as we know, Japan is a leader, is really on the it's one of the top tier central banks, especially Bank of Japan, to test negative interest rates and also yield curve control. So they own over half of the bonds they issue themselves, and this does not create a great image for the markets to actually feel confident about the future of Japan, especially if you hold a long-term bond like the 30-year yield, the 40-year yield. So this creates several problems. As you can see, right now is literally at the top here at all-time highs. On the other side, we still have some surprisingly stable yen, and a lot of that might just be a carry trade unwind where some money goes back to Japan, or just really to avoid rolling a debt that is going higher and higher when for capital costs, right? So Japanese banks, it's very important for us to say. So when we talk about repo and credit markets worldwide, Japan is a pillar, is a fundamental pillar on the whole system. So that's why it's so important for us to track Japan, because that defines a lot of what happens to liquidity, and that it also, of course, provides us a way to see how Bitcoin is going to react after it. So it's very interesting to see that nothing broke yet. Many people just expect for everything to break, or expect like a carry trade unwind to bring the whole world apart. I don't have that as a base case. But I won't deny that the situation in Japan is quite sensitive, because you need to choose what are you going to save, the bonds or the currency. It's really hard to get for both at the same time based on the way that the system works. So Japan has a lot of debt, but it also owns a lot of debt, especially U.S. bonds, which is collateral. So they're able to control in a way or another, but it's a sensitive subject. So let's see what happens. And they also have a lot, in my opinion, of course, much more than the JPY, the actual yen, is the dollar itself that is cutting a slack to most currencies. And of course, the yen is part of the DXY, as we can see here, which measures the strength of the dollar. And we are on a roll here of a dollar weakness. And again, it's very important for us to recap this here. So dollars, so a weaker dollar is desirable by the whole system. That just means that everybody who needs dollars to serve their current existing debt can have access to it. But it's also important to know that most of the dollars that make this push downwards, this is leverage. So this is credit. The more you go down, the more credit you produce. And the more credit you produce, you have more liquidity, but you also increase risk of a reversal. And also the reversal creates problems around the world when you need to serve that debt that already exists. So it's really important for us to understand that trap, because this here is very favorable for liquidity, very favorable for Bitcoin, but a reversal is what we need to take into consideration. Things do not stay always the same way. So let's track, and it's very interesting to see, to watch Japan, watch the DXY, watch the 30-year bond to see what happens. But again, if you want to see more details about it, so especially on Japan, we have a lot. Sina did a fantastic job talking about here Japan and global bonds as well. All right, so let's see if this is one of many deals that are happening, and it creates some relief to the system. But of course, it's still pretty sensitive. All right, thank you guys, and see you in our next video.